In the second part of the first course, we are going to talk about life cycle of building products. After the design stage is completed, the construction starts with the decided building products. The building products come into the system here in the construction stage. As the construction is finished, people start to use the building. In fact, they are using the products. And when the useful lifetime of building products are completed, building can be demolished to become a waste, or it can be deconstructed for the products to be reused or recycled. Based on these stages, the life of a building product starts with its design and continues as raw material procurement and of course its transportation to the production area, the production of the product, sale of the product, and again the transportation of the product to the construction site this time, application of the product to the building during construction, usage of the product, and by the end of its useful lifetime, in the after use stage, we can say, this product can be demolished to become a waste, or it can be reused or recycled. And maybe the most important subject for an architect, product selection, making proper decisions about the products. The properties of a building compared to the requirements of its users and the envisaged concept by the architect is directly related with product selection decisions. To make proper decisions about products, an architect should determine the functions of these products to meet the requirements of the user and their aesthetical features to meet the envisaged concept. So we have two main points. We need to decide about the functions, and we need to decide about the aesthetical features according to the concept. Buildings are man-made, built environments. They are produced as reorganized part of natural environment in order to acquire necessary living conditions needed by their users, and they are surrounded by natural and maybe other built environments. A building has an interactive and mutually influencing relationship between its indoor spaces and outdoor spaces all the time. So, we need to look for the environmental factors. The design stage must always start with the analysis of environments. All the factors affecting the environments of the building, the indoor environment, the outdoor environment, the building itself, the envelope of the building, they are called the environmental factors. We can classify them into four main groups: factors related to user, natural and made environment, production resources, and obligations. The factors related to user can be analyzed, examined under biological properties, psychological properties, or sociological properties. Like the age of the user, or the sizes, or the height, they are all related to the biological properties of the user. So an architect first look at their user. They have to know everything about their users, starting with biological properties, including the ability to move. Psychological properties are the user's behaviors, like if the user uses makeup or reads a lot of books or takes long baths, an architect must know about them so they can create proper spaces, proper living spaces for them. Sociological properties are the properties related to relationships of the user with other people, including religion or traditional habits. The second group, factors related to the natural and made environment. Let's look at the natural environment first. The sun. The position of the sun and sun rays. monthly average air temperatures, precipitation, its type and its duration, monthly average relative humidity, wind, prevailing wind direction and wind speed, the green spaces and their types, topography. These are all the natural element factors, environment factors. And factors related to the made environment, built environment, they are composed of other buildings, streets, maybe access, the plots, and etc. Of course. Like in this figure ground study, we can see that there are different sizes of buildings and their relationships with their plots and with other buildings. Of course, the heights of the buildings, the roads, the streets, or the squares. The third group, production resources. These factors include the building materials, the raw materials that are found nearby the construction site, like the stone or the wood or something else. And builders, their competence, their ability, if they are good enough or not. Of course, for the fourth group, we have obligations, all the laws, standards, etc. we need to follow. Each factor or combination of different factors may cause a requirement. Like in this picture, there is a factor outside, there is noise, or another indoor environment, and this user of this building needs a quiet space in order to work. It is a requirement. Although many of the requirements occur in the usage stage of the building, some may arise during the construction. Requirements can be used to determine functions. The main functions of a building are met by the building elements and other products of the building, the sub-levels of the elements like materials, pieces, and components. They are brought together to materialize a building element and impose the determined properties. There is this noise, so the user have a requirement, so the building must insulate the noise. But the building cannot do that without its elements. So this element, this wall element, its function is one of the functions maybe is to insulate the noise. Consequently, the first step for the decisions about product selection is the determination of functions and aesthetical features of the building elements according to the pre-designed research and concept design decisions. The characteristics of building elements can be revealed based on their functions and aesthetical features, and all the materials, pieces, and/or components can be determined to materialize these building elements. We have environmental factors. We can determine the requirements of the user, and this will give us the function of the building element. So we can decide about the properties of the building element and its sub-levels, which materials, which pieces, which components we are going to use to form this building material. Also, according to these environmental factors, we can have a meaningful concept design, and we can use this design to decide about the aesthetical features of our building elements.